Again, a warm welcome from Dresden again, where Professor Dr. Eric Schoop, Wissam Tawileh, and M.Mattis Altman from the Chair of Information Management. And today's presentation is about implementing virtual collaborative learning, the VCL, as an affordable and inclusive virtual mobility instrument to overcome the social distance challenge. So we are now presenting two sister projects, but at first, I want to talk a little about virtual mobility, the VCL framework, then present the Value X project and the Jovital project. Coming from 2001 even, where the Bologna objectives were set in the European education and training system, where it has to encourage the personal growth of European citizens in three aspects. These are skills, so currently needed technical, social, and personal competencing, and also communication technologies as ICT, the adaptability, so the ability to learn about and adjust to new situations while staying independent and respecting others. And third, the mobility, so the skills required in today's international and multicultural society, especially the ability to work and communicate with others across national boundaries, and by this to adapt the challenges of a global economy. So this was 2001. Let's see, virtual mobility and virtual exchange. So collaborative online learning settings using an affordable, flexible technologies. So they enable their students to take part in an intercultural exchange, which is integrated into their regular studies without having to invest additional time or money. And it's opening new opportunities for students who are economically or socially excluded from physical mobility, which is traditionally necessary to gain international and intercultural competence and experiences. So in our way of viewing the virtual mobility is the use of information communication technologies to obtain the same benefits as one would have with physical mobility, but without the need to travel. So the focus is on cooperation between higher education institutes and the recognition of achievements. And the virtual exchange is more about the interaction and communication of geographically separated participants, and the focus is on exchange of competence building and interaction in small groups. So we are presenting our VCL, or virtual collaborative learning format. It's a formal learning setting used in both projects and examination and grades and credits. It's in higher education. It's completely online. Asynchronous and synchronous tasks can be solved. It's learning in mixed teams. We have a case study style learning, so open scenarios, also mentioned in the presentation before about the problem-based learning. We have a close supervision by qualified tutors and a situative learning with authentic cases, project-style collaboration, and the reduce of inert knowledge. So what does VCL stand for? Virtual is like online, using new communication channels. It's collaborative in groups, benefiting from the experience of others, and it's about learning, so gaining knowledge and experience. You can see here the history of our chair with international VCL projects in the years starting from 2001. But now let's get a little bit in the concrete realizations. So we have like four main pillars of our VCL. This is a professionalized pedagogical support concept. It's realistic cases and working tasks like situative learning. It's a technical platform like Microsoft Teams we are using right now, and it's about learning analytics and information visualization. So we have a dashboard for our e-tutors where they can see analytical statistics like how much logins, how much activity on the platform, and also personalized feedback and assessment. And all our VCL arrangements are building on the didactical framework of Bloom's taxonomy. So people are not just having easy tasks like remembering, but we are like improving the tasks from the level from the beginning to the end, that the didactical framework gets also in the way of problem solving, more addressed to the students' needs. If you want to have more information about the VCL. You can also check out for our DAAD conference, Virtual Exchange, Borderless Mobility between European Higher Education Area and Regions and Beyond in Berlin. There's a video and a web article you can also find on the web. But now let's move into the project presentation. So at first, let's see, this is the ValueX project. It has started this year on 14th in 2020 on 14th of January, and the problem here is that Albanian universities offer so far only marginal exchange experience in the EU area, so physical and virtual exchange, and the integration of virtual teaching and learning practices into the concepts of Albanian universities has been insufficient and should be improved. The solution in this case is a virtual mobility based on technology supported blended collaborative learning activities as a flexible, effective element for internationalization at home and improving the visibility, implementation and volume of virtual exchange experiences. So what are the measures taken in this project? So at first, it's the qualification of academic staff at the Albanian higher education institutes on modern pedagogical and didactical methodologies for an innovative virtual teaching and learning setting. So support Albanian higher education institutes in adopting and implementing effective ICT-based internationalization at home activities and integrate Albanian higher education institutes in a global network for virtual mobility. So the qualification of administrative staff at Albanian higher education institutes should also be on adopting and recognizing virtual mobility as a blended or virtual mobility as part of their institutional internationalization strategy. So let's have a brief look at our consortium. We are in the Erasmus Plus program in the capacity building and higher education. It's a joint project in Albania, and we have a start duration of 24 months. And now we got, due to the pandemic, an extension granted for 12 months, 1 year until 14th of January 2023. If you want to find any information or check out for the project, you can also do it online on www.value-x.eu. We would be happy if you have a look after it. So let's have a look at the consortium. This is the first meeting. We had the luck to have this meeting on site to get to know each other. Here we have 6 Albanian partner universities. It's U at Epoca, Unico, UAMD, UAXH, and UNISHK, and 3 EU partners. ISBSS is today here. Hello to Nada, and also Unimed is today here at the conference. Fabio has recently presented, and so some people of the consortium are here. Yeah, what are the key achievements of ValueX in 2020? We had our first expert forum with about 147 participants. It was in an online format, and we have discussed the outcome and the recommendations we're doing during our Albanian needs assessment report. We had an occasion on the Erasmus Days event where we launched 5 events in 2 days. Also, the partners showed a very high commitment here and launched activities. And 4 of our 6 ValueX computer labs are now, so 1 year after the project start, recently complete. The other 2 are in preparation and almost finished. And let's move on to our last key achievement for 2020. So we have produced, developed, and published in open educational resource format the ValueX needs assessment report on virtual collaborative teaching and learning in Albania. And the key findings of this report, which really shows the need of virtual mobility, is that 81% of the staff has no experience with international staff mobility. 19% is capable of teaching online courses to foreign students. 8% moved their courses only online after COVID-19, and 65% is not ready for this digital transition. And the existing literature and statistics in Albanian language for learning and teaching online are quite fragmented and limited. And this is the point where we have released the virtual collaborative teaching needs assessment report for Albania, and now are working on the implementation of further virtual mobility activities like the e-tutors qualification and the implementation of the VCL concept. I would like to now hand over to Dr. Wissam Tawileh, who will now present you the Jovital project. Thank you very much from my side. It's yours, Wissam.
Thank you, Mattis. We decided to present the sister projects from different point of views, let's say. So this is why I'm joining you. Thank you for having me. I am presenting Jovital and the sister project, as Mattis said, which is with Jordan, focusing implementing the same mechanism, let's say virtual collaborative learning for internationalization and virtual mobility, but focusing on different challenges and problems that are in Jordan, more relevant, let's say, than in Albania. We here also have ISSBS and UNIMED as valuable partners. We have also the Coventry University and 5 Jordanian universities distributed over the country, let's say. The project is coming to an end next month. So I will try to show you some achievements that we reached in this project. So as I said, our focus in this project was on more socio-economic challenges that face Jordanian students, where mobility is a challenge, as colleagues already said, because of financial and visa limitations, sometimes also social and cultural issues. So our intention was also to introduce the interactive teaching and learning using technology in Jordan by implementing virtual collaborative learning. On the next slide, I show you the target groups we were targeting in this project, and we are trying to reach even after the project. For the students, we want to integrate them in an international experience while they are studying at their home universities, something called virtual mobility or internationalization at home. And the main aspect here is the social interaction. So as Mattis said, we are implementing social learning in Microsoft Teams nowadays, where students have to work with each other in groups, usually interdisciplinary, international, gender equal, and cultural relevant, let's say. For the teachers, it's also interesting and important to introduce the new teaching and interaction methods. Many teachers are having the challenge of engaging students in online learning, and we see that social learning is a very good measure, let's say, to make the students more confident to reach out to their teachers and to integrate their activities with each other. For the universities, it's very important to have this international aspect or dimension in the globalized world. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, it is is getting less and less networking in the classical sense. So internationalization at home is a mandatory implementation nowadays. So our achievements in this project, first of all, the capacity building for the academic staff. Our colleagues visited us in Germany, in the UK, and we organized multiple training workshops on site. We started in 2017, so we had the luxury to work on site with our colleagues. And the second outcome was for the students, the main target group, where we implemented the pilot VCL courses. Each university from the 5 universities in Jordan implemented the VCL concept in kind of mini VCL projects, like virtual collaborative learning in existing teaching modules, formal education. And afterwards, we had a common national VCL course where students from the 5 universities worked together on a common case study. And ultimately, we had the international virtual collaborative learning course as a pilot, which finished in December. And we had 60 students from 10 different universities around 5 countries. And this is why where we see the real internationalization at home. You can look at the website of the project and see the testimonials from the students who attended these courses and how they worked for the first time with international students without the need to travel and to get a visa and pay the travel costs, and even to find the partners to work with on a common case study from different disciplines. Very interesting insights. You can find them on the website very soon. The third outcome was the community itself. We used to use an open source social network for the VCL courses for Jovital called ELG, and we built up a community of over 700 members around the world, students and academics. And this community, this virtual community, can sustain as a common place for exchange, not only for students, but really real virtual exchange, let's say. And one more outcome was the qualification of e-tutors. Mattis already told you about this key element in successful virtual collaborative learning. Many teachers, as I said, are having challenges in involving their students in active participation, active learning in the virtual space. And the role of the e-tutor is to activate group work. Each group has an e-tutor as a member of this group. This e-tutor is usually a senior student or a fresh graduate who is qualified to solve problems, to facilitate collaboration, to answer basic questions in the community, so the students don't get lost during the virtual project phase. And the final outcome, which was also, no, this is not the file, this is the villas, we call it the villas. Yes, the virtual innovative learning labs. These are learning spaces established with the equipment supported by the Erasmus program in the 5 cities in Jordan, and they are all connected to the central learning hub, let's say in Amman, in the capital, at Princess Sumaya University for Technology. And this network of learning spaces should be also accessible for other Jordanian universities and students. And we try through this network of learning spaces to integrate students, and this is the last outcome, or the ultimate outcome we are trying to achieve by integrating students, disadvantaged students in rural areas, in refugee camps, or even female students who don't have real access to regular study visits at the university because of family responsibilities, for example, or even students who are working, which is a very normal case in Jordan, let's say. So colleagues in Jordan know this situation, and we try to make these learning spaces accessible and available for all students and teaching staff in Jordan. We would like to invite you to the final workshop of the project, which replaces the final event, let's say. Unfortunately, we will not be able to organize a final conference as planned at the beginning. So next week, on the 23rd of March, we will have a virtual workshop. You can register online. And as I said, you can visit our website to see how the students think about their experience with virtual collaborative learning, how the e-tutors who were in Dresden found the new role as studying facilitators, let's say. I hope you can find interesting and helpful insights. We will be there for questions. Thank you very much for your audience.
Thank you very much.